do the change that you can so that you can do what's best for you and the group. Because hacking is just for you. While hacking can help you individually, it doesn't actually change any of the company's behavior. Hey folks, welcome back to Gaming Garbage. Today we're going to be kind of going over StopKillingGames' response to the GTA 6 leaks. If you don't know, we have more leaks that are happening, and this is just before the premiere that is on Netflix. And while I understand people's frustration, okay, I'm going to go through that myself, but I'm also going to go through why I can't agree with this ultimate form, because it ultimately doesn't help anybody, and I'm going to go through those too. So let's catch everybody up to make sure we're all on the same page. So GTA 6 had leaks in 2022. That was actually the son of somebody that was working on it remotely at home, and well, that was all dealt with. And the son has a indefinite hospital order. Yeah, because he's really good at hacking, and so he's not going to stop. So they've just hospitalized him. And that was all over with. And well, now we also had some other leaks. There was some data. And that didn't work out very well either. Basically, it actually just made the stock go up, which was pretty funny. That was back in 2025. Well, now we're in 2026, where someone has been claiming that they actually have video footage. And, well, they've been leaking that, and Take-Two is not taking to their demands because they don't think they're serious or it's not going to be that big of a deal. And so now, well, this hack group is actually... like having footage on their PlayStation, on their TV, showing gameplay, which is pretty wild. And they say that they will continue to release more if need be. And StopKillingGames came out and said that they disagree with this, that this is not the way that we want to go. And a lot of people have been pushing back on that. The hackers are getting a lot of support in the comments saying that we need to play dirty, that companies are basically taking our stuff away from us, that if buying isn't owning, then hacking isn't stealing, and no disc, no buy. And this is not just one particular issue. This is also just, I think, a lot of things culminated into one thing. And it's kind of like boiling over now. Because also GTA 6 was supposed to have a physical release. Strauss Zelnick said that we were going to have one in February and May of this year. And then now we find out we don't have one. The physical release is just a 179-day code in the box that you have to redeem during that time. And also is region locked for PlayStation 5, but not for Xbox. And then PC is going to be later. There's also going to be multiplayer. We know the microtransactions, too, for GTA 6 are probably going to be wild if GTA Online and GTA 5 have anything to go by. And, yeah, they've already made a ton of money, too. They've already made roughly like $3 billion just in pre-orders. And Take-Two does have roughly about $8 billion to make back. I'll try to remember to put a video at the end screen for that. But for this one, I have to agree with StopKillingGames on this. Because, they say that using illegal means to make a point is unacceptable for us and does nothing to protect your rights to keep us from what we paid for. Because ultimately, the hacker is wanting a physical disc for GTA 6. And if Sony hadn't kicked this off with digital only in 2028, I don't think any of this would be happening, but here we are. No matter how strongly you disagree with the decision of upper management of these companies, there are still thousands of developers who worked hard on the project, and they're the ones getting hit the hardest. Channel that frustration into something constructive. This kind of act is destructive and helps no one, and worse, it risks tarnishing the reputation of our communities and our chances to make change. And that is really what I want to focus on. Is right there, because while hacking can help you individually, it doesn't actually change any of the company's behavior. In fact, it has the opposite effect. Because hacking, think of it this way, hacking is going to get justice for you, right? And it does. I mean, you're able to get a product that you don't have to pay for or that you're frustrated about, and you're able to validate that with your actions, and that's why you hack or steal or whatever. Basically, yes, it is stealing. But it doesn't actually change anything with the company. Because, well, the company doesn't change their behavior in the way that you wished, where they have enough hacks and people are like, oh, okay. Well, that's a very small portion of the community of actual hackers. Some of them do have a lot of controller power because they're very good at what they do, but it doesn't change the company's mind. The other thing, too, is that it also doesn't help anyone else still in the ecosystem not stealing and still paying for products and services rendered, whether it's PlayStation or someone else. Because what the company ends up doing instead is just hunkering down, raising those walled gardens, making more security measures, and making it harder to hack. So there's less hackers that can actually do it in the long run. And then also it screws over the players that are actually still in the ecosystem regardless of industry. So in this case, I mean, this is why PlayStation has their new DRM for digital games that has to be verified, within that kind of like 16-day window, and you have 30 days to do it. Otherwise, you can't play your game, right? And it's a one-time check, but that's why that check is there, is partly because of hacking. And who's to say that they're not going to come up with more stuff? So it doesn't make it better for the community. It doesn't make it for the people paying for the product or service. And it also doesn't make it better either for the hacker group because, well, they're just going to have more stuff to push against. And there's less people that could actually make an impact that way in the long run. Hacking used to be incredibly easy in the 90s and 2000s compared to today. And yeah, it's not going to make anything. So I'll leave you with this. If you're frustrated, simply withhold your money, because this is a guarantee with what can happen. And also, too, support Stop Killing Games and also sign the petition. I will leave the petition in the description so that you can sign it at change.org to say, hey, we want our digital discs back. Okay? And we're roughly 369,000 as of recording right now, roughly. So it's still having some momentum. It's slow, but it's still going. It's not dead. But I would say, do the change that you can so that you can do what's best for you and the group. Because hacking is just for you. And just thinking about you only and how you got screwed is actually a very narcissistic way of thinking about the community and the environment that you're in. But when you work on focusing on what's best for the community and going things about the right way, well, then you can actually force change and make it permanent, not just for you or those today, but also everyone else in the future. Isn't that better? That makes the world better. I don't think very many people can deny that. So do what's best. And again, if you don't want to support Sony or Xbox or Nintendo or whoever else, then just don't give them your money. You can cancel subscriptions, you can cancel pre-orders, you can stop buying games, you can wait until they're on sale, don't buy the hardware, fix the stuff yourself instead of buying a new one. Okay, buy used. There's tons of options, okay? There's tons of options. Also, just switch platforms. But ultimately, that's what can take place, is that we're trying the next option. And to say that, trying to change things legally doesn't make a difference, oh, of course it does. Nintendo got Power World to change quite a few things in their game, but Power World still released, but not without some changes. Also, Ubisoft started adding offline modes because of the lawsuits they were getting with the Crew when they took it offline. And even though you have a physical disc as a product, it no longer plays. Well, they got sued for that. And that didn't just change with Ubisoft. That changed with pretty much every single publisher, is that now offline modes are being created, whether it's PlayStation, Xbox, or Warner Brothers, because, again, they don't want future lawsuits. And PlayStation even now is being sued by 6 different countries because of the digital price gouging manipulation that they have. And, ending physical games is going to be a problem. Now, PlayStation is trying to get around that by saying, well, we'll have redemption cards at retailers. But again, that's not really the same thing. The price doesn't really change that much. But they can say that they're not the, quote, only one selling in the store. But I mean, I'm not giving PlayStation my money. I saw what they were doing during PlayStation 4, so I didn't buy a PlayStation 5, and I haven't been investing in them as a company. So go where you're treated best. Hacking can resolve a particular issue today, but it's not going to change the future outcome. That's what I'm getting at. Supporting Stop Killing Games, signing the petitions, and withholding your money are ultimately the best ways. They take longer. Yes, they take a lot longer. But they also have permanent change. Because even with just withholding your money, and most companies are within the margin, okay, they don't have like a ton of extra money. And so, yeah, if 10% quit, that's going to affect Sony as a company. And if you affect PlayStation, you affect Sony. Because PlayStation is a massive part of the business. It's roughly 35% of the business now. And I imagine in a couple more years, it'll be about 40% of the business. So they're not impenetrable. They're not invincible. You can make them bleed, but I don't think hacking is the best way to do it. Again, do what you can from the legal standpoint and withhold your money. Because if they don't want to listen to the financial pain, then they can die as a company. And we used to have 12 console companies, and now we have 3. So it does work. It does happen. Also, all of the offline modes that we have, well, that's because of lawsuits. That's not because of hackers. That's because of lawsuits. Also, too, people canceling their subscriptions to Game Pass. Well, we got it back from $30 to $23. It's not back to 20, but 23 is a lot better than 30. So the fact that we made that change at Xbox is also a huge deal. Also, the big anti-push with live service, that's having an effect too. All of these big publishers, they're turning back to single-player games. They're bringing back some older IPs or very old IPs because live service isn't working like it did, and for some companies at all. So to think that we don't have impact to do it the legal way, that hacking is the only answer, is completely wrong. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. What do you guys think? Don't forget to sign the petition that's in the description, and I'll see you guys on the next one.